order.
I would like to call the meeting to order.
Rise for the pledge.
Good job.
Want to stand for the pledge?
Everybody stand for the pledge.
Please stand for the pledge.
Flags over here. You're up.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United Thank you, Graham. Welcome to the September 13th, 2022 business meeting. We are joined by 7 of our board members, our superintendent of schools, Dr. Timothy Harney, our assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, Dr. Ted Fulton, our interim assistant superintendent for finance and operations, Mr. Luis Frontero, our district legal counsel, Mr. Edward McCarthy, our district clerk, Ms. Suzanne Benetti, and as always, our student rep, Miss Emily Denton. As always, there are 2 opportunities for the community to participate. The first is just before the board takes up its agenda, and the second follows the disposition of all agenda items. If you'd like to speak, we just ask that you come to the podium. You must be a resident of the school district. If not, you must be voted in by the majority vote of the board. As always, in the back, you'll see this is live streamed and posted thereafter to the district website. And as always, you can follow the district at BBP Schools on Twitter, or you can follow Dr. Harney at BBP Soup. But at this time, we will open it up to any community members for any new or old business. Not hearing any. We do have our superintendent's report, then we'll go to our student delegate, and I know Dr. Harney, we have a special recognition tonight, so thank you guys so much for coming, so we're definitely going to get to you very soon. So Dr. Harney, how are you tonight, sir?
Very good, Mr. Miller, and thank you very much, and hope everyone is having a great day. Just a couple of updates. I'm going to kind of build off of last week. Obviously, last week we had to have a special Board of Ed meeting, so I got to speak about this a little bit, but really, we are now, tomorrow will be 2 weeks actually that we're back in school, and I really started to do this last week, but I really got to thank a lot of people for making the day very special. We had staff come in that Monday. We had a gentleman, Mr. David Heimlich, who did some wellness work with us as a district, which is going to be a theme throughout the year for us. And then obviously that Wednesday we had our students come back, and really got to thank everybody for making that day so special for everybody. Probably the biggest thing that people have heard a lot, and you've seen it in the news and you've seen different articles, and it's not just a thing here at BBP, is transportation. A lot of districts are struggling with transportation right now, whether it be the number of drivers or limited routes or whatever it may be. We've had the drivers, but we've run into a couple of things, but there's really a number of people that I'd be remiss if I did not thank. One is I have to thank Mr. Cordes, who's the director of our transportation, who is spending an immense amount of time trying to make sure that obviously our students are coming to school safely. So I really have to thank him. And I have to thank my 5 principals. They are going above and beyond. They are checking on the buses, going to the buses. I have principals taking the bus. I have them going to bus stops to make sure people are getting off at the right bus. I know not everything is still perfect yet, but a lot of people are trying to put a lot of effort to make sure that our students are safe at all times. And as I've said in my letter that I sent to guests about a week ago, if you have some situations that are coming up, please do not hesitate to reach out to Mr. Cordes, the building principal, because the more we have the information, the better. It is getting better every single day, though we are still running into a few nuances. But again, really like to thank Mr. Cordes and my 5 principals specifically because of the amount of time and efforts that they've been putting in, whether, as I said, getting on the bus, going to people's houses, or just checking on the stuff. So if we can just give them a round of applause, please, because they really done above and beyond. And then some of the good things that are going on. Obviously, we've had a very good start to the school year, so it's very exciting. I kid around, it's often very lonely here in the summer, so it's great to have the buildings full again with our students. Sports are now in full swing. High school's been in session for a while, since before school, and now middle school started just recently as well, so they have started. You probably also saw from an announcement standpoint that I sent out I believe it was last Friday that I sent home a parent notice. We're going to do another parent workshop. The gentleman, Mr. David Heimowitz, who's the director of Same Here, is going to be doing one. And he's really going to be talking about a couple of things that day. And I think I have it up here so I sent it. It's for September 29th. And it's going to be at 7 o'clock and it's going to be here. So I'd love you to kind of save the date and join us that night. And it's really going to be a parent workshop to helping our students with relationships, resiliency, and readjusting. How do we as adults support our students' growth? How can we be mindful of effective ways to negotiate the challenges that we all face in life? And how can we engage them in discussions that help them to become resilient and healthy? We're planning to do it about an hour. We're trying to keep all of our sessions to an hour. We'll do a number of parent workshops over the course of the year. We have that one, and then I can tell you if you're trying to save a date, the next one will be November 9th. So that will be our follow-up to that. So we're looking forward to that if you can kind of put that in your calendar and join us here. And then obviously my last thing is over the next, really the end of this week and next week, we have our open houses. They are obviously all in person. We're looking for everyone to come in, see our classrooms. We started our pre-K. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting going in there. They're having a lot of fun, and our teachers and our administration over at Sylvan is doing a great job with them. Our open houses are just, high school is Thursday. The elementaries are next Wednesday, the 21st, and the middle school is the 20th, which is next Tuesday, just so that everyone is aware. If there's any questions you have, again, just reach out to your buildings. We'll be more than happy to help you out. With that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Miller. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harney. Turn it over to our student delegate. Ms. Denton, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you. Good evening. It hasn't been long since we last met, but in that time, we've entered the 2022-2023 school year. Upon speaking with Mr. Haas, the two of us have agreed that this year has had a positive air to it. It's refreshing to be back in the building without masks and close to friends, peers, and teachers again. Classes feel more close-knit and comfortable than they have in a long time. To start off this year, high schoolers grades 9 through 12 gathered with their respective class in the auditorium one period each last week. They met with high school guidance staff and administrators to review guidelines, expectations, and resources for the school year. Discussing things from dress codes and attendance to DASA and mental health, the students were given the opportunity to ask questions and learn a little bit about the comfortable, positive environment of the high school. Personally, my biggest takeaway from the assembly was the high school's newest addition, the Wellness Center. Headed by Mrs. Chris Gola, the high school social worker, the building staff is working to create a safe environment for those struggling with mental health, making it difficult to get through their days. Over the next year or so, additions will be made to convert the space. In an effort to continue social emotional learning and awareness, the building staff is encouraging use of the room for those looking for a quiet, calm space or a little bit of support throughout the year. Additionally, next Tuesday, guidance staff and building administration will be pushing into Solstice classes to educate students on poor mental health. These staff members have undergone training and will be using their knowledge to train high school students on the warning signs of poor mental health, including but not limited to knowing the signs, being able to identify within oneself or a friend, who to reach out to if a friend comes to you, and the resources that are available to our district students. Next week, on the morning of Thursday the 22nd, Mr. Haas will be meeting with members of the senior committee. This committee was started by the class of 2022. These recent graduates worked with Mr. Haas to start a committee focused on unity and companionship. This meeting will be introductory and set goals for the upcoming year. Mr. Haas is looking forward to working with those who sign up. The committee is geared towards creating a sense of safety, community, and understanding among the students of the district. It is a student-to-student-based program that focuses on relying on your peers in times of need. Shifting gears towards extracurriculars, next Friday, the 23rd, the high school will be holding a club fair to give students, both new and old, a chance to discover what clubs the high school has to offer. Even within the past year, the high school has started a bunch of new clubs, including but not limited to the Wellness Club, Chess Club, and Guitar Club. This event gives students the chance to get involved and find something they're interested in. For example, one club, or rather four, is Class Club. Each class has their own form of student government called Class Club. Class Club is very involved in homecoming celebrations. Float building is making its return. If students are interested in float building this year, they should see their class advisors to get involved with their class. Lastly, this Thursday evening will officially kick off the start of the school year for the high school with the annual open house. For the first time since 2019, open house will be in person. Best wishes to the parents as they navigate the district's buildings, and best wishes to the student body on the 2022-2023 school year. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Ms. Denton. Any questions from trustees?
Thank you so much. That was very thorough. We appreciate it. Now for the moment that you guys have been waiting for, we have
We're doing the special recognition first.
yeah. I was just saying, we got 3 special recognitions coming up, so we'll pass over to Dr. Harney. And Cub Scouts, we're getting to you next.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. At this time, we do have a special recognition tonight. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Haas up front.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Harney. This is always, as a high school principal, this is one of the most special announcements that you get to make. So this evening it is my honor to formally announce the valedictorian and salutatorian for the Bayport Blue Point High School class of 2023. Before I discuss some of their academic accomplishments and announce them, I do want to share a little bit about both these students because they do have a lot in common. They are the epitome of well-rounded students. They excel not only in the classroom, but they excel in the arts, athletically, and they are leaders within the school. However, it is their character and determination that has truly been an inspiration to their peers and anyone that has come in contact with them. During their junior year, both students, they both went through similar circumstances. Both suffered injuries that kept them from competing athletically for entire seasons, and this means a lot to them. Faced with these circumstances, many people would use it as an opportunity to just take a break. However, these 2 students stayed dedicated to their teams and most importantly to their teammates. I know that this is not what they had envisioned for this time and it wasn't an easy time for them, but they continue to work hard and were the definition of leaders. So now to the academics. The class of 2023 salutatorian has a weighted average of 102.69. As a result of their commitment to their academics, they have completed 5 AP courses, scoring five on 3 of them. They are currently enrolled in 4 more AP courses during their senior year for a total of 9. This year they have earned the award of AP Scholar with Distinction, and throughout the past 4 years, it would be hard to find a more dedicated student to their studies. It is my privilege to announce the Bayport Blue Point High School class of 2023 salutatorian, Erin McMahon.
We're going to stand up after this one, too.
The class of 2023 valedictorian has a weighted average of 103.44. During their high school career, they have completed 7 advanced placement courses, earning a score of 5 on all but one of them. They are currently enrolled in 4 more AP classes for a total of 11. Having completed AP Research, they also have earned an AP Capstone Diploma. In 2021, they were recognized as an AP Scholar, and this year they will be recognized as an AP Scholar with Distinction. They have a thirst for knowledge that is unmatched by anyone in this class. At this time, I would like to call up the Bayport Blue Point High School class of 2023 valedictorian, Ryan Mattamore.
Just so you guys know, they didn't know that was about to happen. So they're right now talking to the parents saying, did you know?
And that is why I turned to Mr. Miller and I said, wait, because I thought he was going to give it, I thought he was going to blow the surprise. So, but he didn't, so. So here we go. This is very exciting. We're going to pass this over to Dr. Fulton, and then we're going to invite the Cub Scout troop of 130 up. But I got to say this, I'll share this, Peter. It was always very interesting. Mrs. Vogel had reached out to me, I don't know, sometime during the summer, and told me about this project. It was truly amazing to me. If any of you had the opportunity to see the benches that were donated at the 3 elementary school, and I think the most interesting thing about them is they're made out of bottle caps. I think that's the most interesting thing to me. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Fulton. So I really just wanted to thank you. It's something that will be with us for a long, long time. So I want to thank you guys, the troop, for everything that you've done. But we do want to have you up here and do a special recognition. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Fulton.
Thank you, Dr. Harney. So not only was it a really creative and cool project, but it's also something that students from all 3 elementary buildings worked on. So I would like to call up the Scoutmaster, Mr. Bill Vogel, and the committee chair, Mr. Jeff Cardillo, to kind of talk to us a little bit about the project before we bring our students up. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you. A little bit about the project. We found out that bottle caps are not recyclable. So there's a company that was out in Indiana that if you save the bottle caps, and they will take them and convert them into benches. So our scouts over the last 3 years have collected over 550 pounds of bottle caps, which is a lot of bottle caps. It's a trailer full, and then some. Yeah, so 550 pounds of bottle caps. We
were going to go for 100.
We were going to go for 100 for one bench. Okay. We kept on going, and we ended up with 5 benches.
Because of the pandemic. The pandemic slowed us down. We kept collecting during the pandemic, and we ended up with 550 pounds.
Yes.
5 benches.
Yes, 5 full benches. And I guess that's about it, right?
Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand it over to Dr. Fulton. If you guys
Okay.
stay up here, we want to invite the here with us. And we're going to bring them up. And then we'll do a group picture at the end if that works. Yeah. All right? Perfect.
So we're going to also invite Ms. Van, Ms. Velasco, and Mr. Andruskowitz up because some of the students have moved on to 6th grade. So let's bring them up. So this was a multi-year project where 37 Cub Scouts collected the bottle caps, and we're just so very proud of their efforts. So when you come on up, and then we'll take a group picture in the end. So, William Burke. Okay. Max Cordillo. Jason Ciccarelli. Thomas Dombrowski. Tyler Doris. Karen Gooding. Landon Doss. Keaton Farmer. Maximus Fernandez. Ethan Ferraro. Jake Florin. Luke Florin. Jonathan Ferran. Brooks Galatafiore. London Gentner. Luke Hedstrom. Henry Jankowski. Adam Lasky. Benjamin Lasky. Declan Litcher. Benjamin Loring. Alexander Marr. Michael Majorano. Shane McManus. Graham Mendolia. Christian Monaco. Tyler Moran. Denton Patton. Caldo Penice. Tegan Reese. Dean Ricky. Lucas Rispoli. David Welling. Jason Scotolini. Nate Swan. Robert Valente. And William Vogel. Congratulations, gentlemen, for a job well done. Give them one big round of applause.
You want us to take these and do that tomorrow?
Yes, we can do that.
Cover your face, okay? You want a good picture here, okay? Put your hands down. There you
Thank you so much.
So, look how important I am. If you guys wouldn't mind just staying 1 more minute for one more special recognition, then we'll get you out of here. Sorry. One more quick one, and then you guys are out of here. Thank you. Sorry, guys.
So we have one more recognition here tonight, and I definitely want you guys to stick around for it. How many of you students have had Mrs. Gayer? She's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, pretty awesome, right? So we are recognizing Mrs. Gayer here tonight. She was the Teacher of the Year for the 2021-22 school year. So we'd like to recognize her. So I will read to you what was written about her, and then we're going to have her come up here and do some photos and stuff. So this exceptional teacher makes the world a more beautiful place, not only with her incredible artistry and creativity, but even more so by the kindness, compassion, and positivity that exudes from her day in and day out. She makes meaningful connections with all of her students and provides them with a safe space where they feel respected and important. She's a true team player, volunteering to make any activity that she's involved in more beautiful and more meaningful. She works tirelessly to fuel her colleagues and students, rhymes with positivity and compassion, and truly means it. She takes the time to share her ideas and best practices with fellow staff and is supportive as demonstrated by both words and actions. She is an amazing advocate for her department and students both online and in exhibits. Her students adore her as she is an inspiration who cares so much about them and puts 300% into everything she does. Simply put, she rocks. It is with great pleasure and pride that we recognize the Teacher of the Year, Ms. Carly Gayer. Congratulations, well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I would. Have somebody, Brian, want to come this one? You want one of you guys? Somebody? All right, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Miller.
All right, guys, thank you so much for all your hard work. Congratulations on the special recognition. Congratulations to our valedictorian and salutatorian. Looking forward to your speeches at graduation. But thank you guys so much. Have a great night. This will be the time if you'd like to leave. Thank you guys so much. Good luck. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Oh, thank you so much. Awesome what you did for these guys. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. It was a great
Awesome
job.
job.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for helping me out tonight.
Did I get most of the names right?
What do you know? What is that? Remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one.
Remember that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Vogel will know.
That's not the first slide.
You got 14, maybe 15 minutes.
No. Have I ever let you down?
No, listen, we got a lot of people combined. We're going to have Fox. Thank you so much. All right, guys, thank you so much. What you guys all waited for tonight, special academic presentation. We got these guys on the clock. We have been promised 15 minutes or less. Thank you guys so much. Turn it over to Dr. Fulton. How are you tonight, sir?
Good evening, thank you. It's nice to be back once again to present our academic report for the prior school year, the 2021-22 school year. This evening, we're going to review our indicators of student performance and how our students did academically. We're going to discuss how it relates to the ESSA requirements. That also includes our college and career readiness indicators, student achievement, and student attendance, which is a new component under ESSA requirements. So as you know, last year was down a path that many of us unexplained and twists and turns at every step of the way. But as a district, our students continued to perform, our teachers continued to teach, and did an outstanding job. And we're very proud of both of our staff and our students. Everything we do is rooted in our goals. For us, this presentation is really going to focus on our learning goals and ensuring how we did as it related to meeting students' individual needs as it relates to academic performance. So if you remember, under ESSA, there are certain things now that we are part of a component, how a district is evaluated: student academic achievement, student growth, graduation rates, career college civic readiness, and also absenteeism. So this presentation will touch on those areas. As the ESSA, what happens is they calculate this data and use an algorithm, and what they do is they determine if a school district and schools are in good standing, or if they're targeted or in need of improvement or comprehensive improvement. Our traditional measures that we use here at BBP for grades K through 5, local end of the year math assessment, state assessments 3 through 8. We have the iReady diagnostic that's used for K through 5, Fontes and Pinnell. Secondary, we use miscellaneous quarterly diagnostic assessments, and then locally developed common assessments either by course or by grade. Some points to consider is, and this has been reviewed a couple of times, but it's still important because after it was expanded, unfortunately due to COVID, some of those things, the data points weren't available or required for the prior school years. But ESSA accountability measures include science, social studies, L proficiency for English language learners, attendance, economic need, and career and college readiness. There's been adjustments for length, design of exams, public release of test questions. We have expanded computer-based testing, and that was grades 5 through 8 in 2020-21. And last year, all grades participated in computer-based testing, grades 3 through 8 in 21-22. The state does change the cut points continuously year to year for the state assessments 3 through 8, and also for regents passing and mastery with regards to performance. I always liken that to they move the field goal post after the ball's been kicked. The kids take the exam and then they determine what the levels of performance are. We still do have a high number of refusals at Bayport Blue Point, which does impact the ESSA calculations. Though our number has come down, which was at a high, which is at approximately 74% a couple of years ago, and the teacher-parent opt-out / refusal rate has dropped, we are still one of the highest districts in the region. And we also do have an impact on enrollment declining data, so when you have less students as your denominator, sometimes that could have an impact on data. Some things to celebrate. We are ranked 90th in the state for the 2021 graduation rate and 12th in Suffolk County. We ranked 33rd in New York State for the Reasons designation in 1920 and 4th in Suffolk County. We ranked 22nd in New York State for students with disabilities graduation or special education students and 11th in Suffolk County. And our 5-year graduation rate in 2021 was ranked number 1 in Suffolk County. If you remember the changes under ESSA, they calculate a 4-year graduation rate and a 5-year graduation rate for the students, special education students that sometimes require more time. And then our 21-22 rankings, we're still waiting for the final calculations as the data, though we do have assessment data for individual student performance. It has not been released publicly to be able to calculate those ratings. So our student attendance, and this is as a component, is we take a look in what New York State considers chronic absenteeism. If a student misses 10% of enrolled school days, and it doesn't matter if the absent is excused or unexcused. So as you can take a look from 2021 to 21-22, we did have a jump with regards to students that are considered chronically absent. The number one contributing factor is students that either had COVID or were quarantined due to COVID, which as a result resulted in an increase in those absences. So I'm actually very interested to look at what the data will be for this school year to see how it does impact the attendance. Each building, discussional support team, and our support team does track student attendance, and we do have interventions in place when we notice that there is a high rate of absenteeism on the building level. Our daily attendance rate by building grade, as we take a look, as we broke it down, and like to take a look and see. So this is for us for across the elementary buildings, K through 5. As you can see, statistically, for each grade, they're in the same ballpark from a statistical significance standpoint. For the middle school too as well, and then the high school. So like I said, overall, this is again the daily attendance for student percentage by building grade. Our percentage of exam refusals, though we did have, again, our high as a district was ELA 75% in 18-19 and 74% in 18-19. We did have a drop. We're approximately 65-66%. But again, I stress these numbers. We are still, as a district, one of the higher opt-out rates, parent refusal rates for state assessments 3 through 8 in our region. What that means is we have to participate in a participation rate improvement plan. Later in the year, I do multiple academic information nights. I will also do a survey after the assessments to find out why parents are choosing for their children to opt out of the exams. And then we have to take a look at that data to see if there's anything that we can do as a district to promote students to be able to participate in the exam. As we take a look at our assessment performance, and again, as it is impacted with regards to who does not take the exam, our county rate does fluctuate. As you can see, also our opt-out percentage fluctuates by grade too as well. So the one thing we do is 3 or above, 3 or 4 or above, is considered on grade level or above grade level. But again, we have a large percentage of our students that are not taking the 3 through 8 assessments. The rankings data, again, for 21-22 is not available at the time of this presentation. So our elementary local math assessment, this is something that we actually changed our local math assessment, and we created a new assessment, first implemented in 2021. So this past year, 21-22, was the second year of implementation. And as you can see, we had a slight increase in regards to our passing rate from year 1 to year 2. Again, as we take a look for our mastery, 5 out of the 6 grades, we did have an increase in mastery. We're going to continue to take a look at this data too as well, continue to adjust the assessment to see if it's meeting the rigor and obviously our next generation math standards. So our local math assessment is a living assessment, and we make changes to adjust each year to meet the students' needs. Our fonts and Pinnell is what we use traditionally to determine students' reading above in grade level. And this is something that we're going to continue to look at. I believe this is an area that we have some area for room and growth and improvement. And this is one of the reasons why we switched our Teachers College professional development program, whereas as part of Teachers College in years past, we had contracted with Teachers College to come in and work with our teachers. This year is the first year initiative where we have 2 of our teachers that are serving as local Teacher College mentors, professional developers. They've already started to meet with the grade levels and staff on Superintendent's Conference Day. They also, in addition, this week had meetings with each individual grade level as well. And we're really excited as we're now going to have boots on the ground every day, our teacher mentors working with teachers in implementation in Teachers College, reading and writing, which we hope will translate to an improvement in our Fontes and Pinnell reading scores. And now I'd like to call up Mr. Andruskowitz, who will lead us through a brief review and discussion related to middle school assessments.
Thank you, Dr. Foden. I apologize for my back to everybody here. I feel like I'm playing Westbury Music Fair in the round. What you're going to see here is it's kind of a 2-pronged presentation here. One's going to talk about the enrollment in our advanced courses at the middle school, which involves 7th grade pre-algebra, 8th grade algebra, and 8th grade earth science. And then we're also going to discuss the Regents results from the 2 Regents level courses at the middle school. So if you take a look here, this is our middle school earth science enrollment from 2014, 2015 up through this current year. You are going to see a decrease from 45% of our students taking it last year to we are at 40% this year. It is a drop of 12 total students. The way our students get into earth science, they can be teacher recommendation, and it can also be self-selection. In which we reach out to the parent during the parent presentation. We talk about the self-selection process. We ask the parent or guardian to go home, speak with the student, see if they want to challenge themselves in that earth science advanced course. One of the things we did this year too was any student who had an 85 or above who was not recommended or self-selected, we did reach out via phone call to gauge interest in taking earth science. Some did take us up on it, some chose not to. So we did reach out to every parent or guardian with a student who had an 85 or above. These are our algebra numbers. If you look at our algebra numbers, we increased tremendously in our pre-algebra. Again, that's our 7th grade. That is the precursor to students taking algebra in 8th grade. This year, we have 58% of our 7th graders in pre-algebra. Our 6th grade teachers last year worked tremendously hard with those students to prep them, and it's a great number. We jumped up 6%, and our algebra numbers jumped up from 38% last year. We are currently at 45%. These are the results from last year's Earth Science Regents. We did jump up 6% total. We were at 91% last year. We did jump up 6% to 97%. Out of all the students that took it, there were 2 that did not pass the Regents, which resulted in the 97. Our algebra results, once again, for the last 4 of the last 5 years, because the 1 year missing, because there was no Regents. 100% passing rate across the board for our algebra Regents. Any questions before I pass it over to Mr. Haas? All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Andruskowitz and Dr. Fulton. As I move on to some of the indicators for the high school, first thing I'll talk about a little bit is just post-secondary success. Hey, when we're working with students, when our guidance counselors are working with students, teachers, Some of the things that we do talk about them is the strength of schedule. When you look at college admissions and then also college success, the strength of a student's schedule is a leading factor to not only their admissions into the school that they hopefully want to go to, but also their success once they're at that school. So some of the things that we look at here in the high school is the percent of students who are taking take math all the way through Algebra 2 and beyond. So if you look here, over the years in the past, this year we had 87% of the class of 2023 had taken Algebra 2 or is currently enrolled in it. So those are pretty strong numbers. As you're going to see, it correlates to some of the slides coming up. The next slide that we always keep an eye on and track is the amount of students who have been enrolled in 4 years of math and science. Now you do see within this category, you do see a drop, and it's going to be a correlation to the next slide. As we have started working with the students within our counseling center and the support from the Board of Education last year with the budget, you'll see we had a major increase in the amount of students that are attending the BOCES technical program. You're seeing a jump from 28 to 43 within the tech side, and then also ICC program, which is for special education students, we're sending 4 there. So these students who are enrolled in this program, oftentimes within their schedule, that takes up 4 periods out of the day. So it's difficult for them to get that 4th year of math and 4th year of science. So that's where you see that correlation. With a jump there, you're going to see a few less students taking the math and science for 4 years. So another thing we look at is our students with Advanced Regents Diploma that graduate with it. For a student to earn an Advanced Regents Diploma, they're looking for 2 additional credits in foreign language or a 5-unit sequence in arts or within CTE credits. So you're seeing more and more of that now that we have more students going to BOCES. We're seeing a little bit more of them getting the credits through arts and CTE. The other thing that they have to have is a 65 or better on 4 additional Regents exams, including geometry, Algebra 2, 1 additional science, and we have the local exam within the world language. So if you see our Advanced Regents Diploma rates, last year's graduating class, we saw an increase, 79%. So this is 2018 was our high as a district at 82%, so we're seeing our number go back up a little bit, and even this year, our current graduating class, I'm projecting that number to be either at 79% or even moving into the 80s this year.
That's on camera.
I've already looked at the numbers, so I know what we're at already.
Hold you to it.
So the next thing I just want to take you through is our College Board, our AP exams. As you saw with our valedictorian and salutatorian, we have students that take advantage of a lot of the AP exam classes that we offer. So last year we had 521 exams written by 243 students. So that number somewhere in the 500s is generally where we're going to like to keep our numbers. We think it's a strong number for us. When you look at how they do on the exams, we had a very strong year last year. You saw an increase of 3 or better, 5%, and then you saw an increase of 4 or better of 7%. So this is really a tribute to not only the hard work of the students, but really the dedication of the teachers of those classes and the extra hours, especially in last year where there were so many interruptions to instruction, the extra hours and time that those teachers put in for the students to make sure that they were prepared and ready to go. So you see here, and we'll be honoring these students at an upcoming board meeting within the next couple of months, students from 21, 22 that earned some of the AP scholars, and you earn these awards based on the amount of tests taken and the scores of 3 or better on those tests. So you see we had an increase of AP scholars, about the same with and did very well with the AP Scholar with Honor and AP Scholar with Distinction. Also, something that we're very proud of here is our partnership with Suffolk Community College. We are part of the Beacon program, which is a dual credit enrollment program or a concurrent enrollment program. Currently, we offer 14 courses through Suffolk Community College. So, for example, Pre-Calculus Enriched, our teacher is certified, gets credentialed by Suffolk Community College, and the students enroll in that class, they not only get their grade from Bayport Blue Point, but they wind up getting 3 credits from Suffolk Community College that they can then transfer to their schools. This year, we're actually expanding and working a little bit more with Malloy College as well to expand some of the offerings for the students. Last year, the students that were enrolled earned an average of 6 credits each. We had last year 198 individual students enrolled. in a total of 350 course enrollments. So it's a very strong program here within the school, and it ranges from 3 to 4 credits in terms of what the students can earn in. And we have everything from within math, sciences, arts, so there's a wide variety of classes for the students to participate in. So if you look, our numbers for students pursuing college stayed relatively the same from last year. 2 years ago, we had 90% of our students that graduated last year indicated that they were going on to either a 2 or 4 year school. 69% indicated they were going to a 4-year school. So we do have quite a number of students who either going on to a 2-year school, or because of the commitment that we're having to some of the trades, we're seeing more and more students either go directly into the workforce or going to a trade school. So one thing before I go through the Regents exams and the Regents data with you, I just did want to bring up and explain to you something that the state did. They came out with in early June, late May, early June last year, what they called a special appeal. And this was really designed because of the gaps in learning and instruction that took place for obvious reasons over the past few years. So what they came out with, and this went into effect for the Regents exam starting in June of 22 and goes all the way through the administration of the Regents exams in August of 23. And this special appeal is for any student who has passed the course and then scores a 50 to a 64 on the Regents exam. So say for geometry, they have an 80 average for the year, the 4 quarters combined, and they scored a 55 on the Regents exam. Those students were eligible for what is called a special appeal. That special appeal, an essay, actually goes on their transcript, and it gives them credit for the Regents exam towards graduation and also their diploma type. So it's a recognition that there has been some interruptions over the past few years, and it is allowing them the time to still earn the credit in those exams. So when you look at our data that I'll show you, on the screen now you'll see English and world languages. Now world languages, because it's not a Regents exam, it's a locally developed checkpoint, they are not eligible for it, but you'll see within English we had 97% that earned credit or passed the Regents exam, 5% of which was through special appeal. So you'll see that on all of the slides. You'll see what the amount of students that earned the credit was, and then you'll also see what the number was that was special appeal. So here you have ELA, the world languages. Here's the math slide. So if you look in terms of the credit that was earned, we've remained relatively stable in what, in how many students were still earning the credit for the exams. Here we have science. Hey, there were some dips. We are doing some things right now within our departments, giving professional development time for each teacher in each department and each exam, time to unpack the Regents exam, review the data, and then collaboratively work together to make adjustments to curriculum, instruction, and common planning time for the remainder of the year. So you can see in global history, and then if you recall last year, there was supposed to be the new exam in U.S. history at the beginning of June. That was canceled about a week before the exam due to some of the questions that appeared in the exam. So we don't have any data from that last year. So I turn it back over to Dr. Fulton for moving forward.
Thank you, Mr. Andruskowitz and Mr. Haas. So again, as we continue to move forward, there's always room for improvement. We're always looking for ways to best meet the needs of our students. So we're going to continue our assessment data analysis, that's state assessment, our local diagnostics, and our locally developed assessments, and really look at what we call curriculum gap analysis. Where's the student performance? What is our curriculum scope and sequence, course of instruction, and what adjustments can we make to promote student performance? We're going to continue our secondary course quarterly assessments that began process last year as departments for specific courses began to create common assessments that parallel the skills needed for the state assessments and really emphasize the skills needed for achievement. In addition, we're going to take a look at next generation standards for our unit and lesson implementation for the new next generation based assessments which are coming out in the future years. And then really continue a longitudinal evaluation of the data benchmarking and take a look and see not only are we meeting the needs, but how that relates to AIS and students' needs. So our initiatives this year are Eternal Teachers College Professional Development Mentors, which I discussed before. Through our instructional council, we really want to take a look at the AIS program, and then within that, the RTI tiers, 1, 2, and 3, which is a level of intervention for students, response to intervention, and see, is there something that we can do better? We're excited about our pre-K implementation. That is my happy place. And very proud with how it's going. And our kindergarten summer readiness program, the initial feedback from our kindergarten teachers is that the students that participated in the program came and have hit the ground running to start the program. So we'll continue to work on that. We are going to look, Sylvan traditionally has our after-school elementary homework program club, and we do have funding where we're now be looking to expand that to elementary too as well in Sylvan. So that is something we're excited about. And then we're going to continue our departmental region status analysis, identify the skills to create the lessons and activities to promote student achievement. So we have a number of initiatives that are ongoing that have already started for this school year. So, again, want to thank our staff for a wonderful job that they've done and congratulate the students on some outstanding student performance, and we're excited about moving forward to meet our needs. I open it up to any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Fulton and your team. Any questions from trustees? Ms. Rowan?
Hi. Thank you so much to the three of you for presenting this academic report. It's great to get back on track after we've paused and see where we're at. My question, one concern that I had about the slides was the part about the improvement plan because of the opt-out rates. So what implication, where does that leave us now? What do we need to do as a district because of that?
Well, what's going to happen is we're required to do an improvement plan. It is parent choice. We have to show and demonstrate to the state that we're informing the district with regards to what the assessments are, what the goals of the assessments are, and then take a look and show that we're not discouraging parents from having their children participate in the exam. So what could happen is eventually there is a potential that we could be cited for student participation and be considered a district or a building specific targeted for improvement. And also the opt-out, the lack of participation could impact us in the academic ratings, which in long term could result in a school or a subgroup of students being identified for targeted, and then we would have to create an improvement plan. So there is a potential there for New York State to say that there's a concern and that there will be a more specific and directed intervention if we continue to have such a high opt-out rate and if it continues to impact student performance. Because if a student does not take an exam, it does negatively impact us in the algorithm, which determines each building and each student subgroup's performance and whether or not we're in good standing. So it is a concern and could result in something down the line.
Thank you. And where will this slideshow be posted?
We'll post it on the website underneath the curriculum tab, and then I have where I also keep up previous year's academic presentations too as well. So it'll be posted out there and under board presentation. So we put it out multiple places.
Thank you. As you get information about any type of improvement plan for opting out rates, will you be able to update on that?
Yes, well, I have the plan that we have that is already submitted to the state, and that basically states that we will do a survey to identify the reasons behind it, and then I will then work with the different shareholder groups in the community for action steps.
Thank you.
Any other trustee questions? Any community members? Dr. Horry, Dr. Fulton, and your team, appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. That was 23-something. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items the board would like to remove from the consent agenda and place on the regular agenda? Not hearing any, can I have a motion to approve consent agenda items G, H, I, J, K, and L?
So moved.
Mr. Johnson, second. I think that was Ms. Pagnataro. Any discussion? Mr. Crew, we always leave you for the motion to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. You can't argue with that. Moving on to the one regular agenda item we have. Can I have a motion to approve and gracefully accept the donations from the Merrill Mason Foundation and the Blue Point Avenue PTA? Mr. Krug, second by Mr. Johnson. As always, thank you so much. We have a $8,000 high school scholarship fund donation, and we really want to say thank you so much to the Merrill Mason Foundation, and also the Blue Point Avenue PTA is going to be using this $500 for assembly. So thank you guys so much for the donation. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. At this time, we'll open up to the community members for any new business. Yeah, Mr. Roop?
I'm just curious when the public enrollment presentation will be held.
Two things. I'm looking to do it, so I have a committee meeting Thursday. So I've been working on a draft. I'm hoping to run by them a draft, and I'm looking for one of the meetings in October. I'm hoping October 11th. If not that, it'll be the next one. But it'll be next month.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess the question you're probably asking is, in your email that goes out, I guess we'll let people know.
Yeah, I'll do like I always do when I do the blast about the meeting. I'll let everyone know that there's an enrollment presentation that I'll be doing.
I know you guys always put out the letter like a day before, but I like to give the community a little longer time because I think a lot of people are interested in it.
Yeah, I'm sure. My goal is to really shoot for the October 11th unless I run into a snag next week. So if you send me an email, towards the end of next week, I'll give you an update and tell you what I'm looking. But I'm hoping to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Roop. Thank you, Dr. Tony. Any other community members? Any trustee new business? Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, I guess to lend to the enrollment committee, I do remember the last time we did this, and this was probably pre-COVID. So I think it's important that whoever does attend needs to understand the board is seeing this presentation for the first time. This is work done by a committee. These are recommendations done by a committee. We're hearing it the first time like everyone else, so I hope the audience takes that into account when they show up and they decide to start addressing the board, because last time it was I felt it to be some of the comments to be a little, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other trustees with new business? Can I have a motion to adjourn? Oh. Hang on, before we adjourn, Dr.
Sorry about
Harney
that. I
wants
just
to...
also want to do one more thank you tonight. Ms. Kiefer's in the back up there helping us out, so I just want to give her a shout out and thank her very much. As you know, sometimes we have other people come, but she came here tonight, so thank you very much for giving us the time. I appreciate it.
Ms. Kiefer, if you want to change and turn the camera, you can put yourself right on there. All right, motion to adjourn. Mr. Johnson, second by Mr. Krug. All in favor? Thank you guys so much. Have a good night. We appreciate your time tonight. Congrats to everyone who was recognized.